Zangmo, and welcome to Dawai Kudroen, this special edition of Dawai Kudroen. Normally, all the viewers know that Dawai Kudroen used to be a feature program of every Wednesday. But tonight, since Dasho Neten Zangmo, the Honorable Chairperson of Anti-Corruption Commission, is leaving office by 21st, that is tomorrow. So I had to have this interview arranged tonight. So Dasho, thank you so much for your time. We, in fact, had a very interesting conversation during Dzongkha session. I'd like to just continue with this conversation. No preparations from my side, and Dasho, as always, you have always been very outspoken, and you had all the answers at your fingertip. So that's why it's always interesting, and in fact, it's really a wonderful pleasure for me to interview you for this last time. So thank you so much, Dasho. I know you're keeping very busy with lots of last-minute arrangements and last-minute housekeeping things to be done. Despite that, you managed to come here. Dasho, maybe just to pick on where we left during Dzongkha session, you're planning to leave for your home. And one time you also mentioned that you don't want to stay back in Thimphu because Thimphu is almost filled with hypocrites. What makes you think that?
Thimphu is very suffocating. First of all, with the concrete buildings. Secondly, with the people's attitude and hypocrisy. I think hypocrisy is it's something that characterizes many people in Thimphu or large mass. So it's very suffocating for me. And because I'm one person who cannot say something and do something else.
Yes.
So I would rather see people saying something and doing the same thing. So that sort of thing I just can't stand. And so that's why I would like to have space. That's why I don't want to stay in Thimphu.
Yes.
And I want to go home. And perhaps there's more space, less people. Hopefully there's more naturalness
Yes.
in the villages.
So you'll be going to Deotang?
Yes.
So you think Deotang will be free of hypocrisy?
Not that, but I guess the degree perhaps will be less. Of course, human beings, I guess, more or less, it's a matter of degree. And I think perhaps there are smaller hypocrites in Deotang
Yes.
than in Thimphu.
Yes. So how is the mood like, Dasho? Just want to repeat this question. How is the mood like when you are completing your, let's say, almost your career or rather your tenure in Anti-Corruption Commission? What's the mood?
Very happy. In fact, I was trying to reflect, that was in December 2005. The then Prime Minister, in fact, called me to his office. And I do not know why I was called there. So he, in fact, conveyed the command, that you as being considered to be the chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission. That, in fact, was such a wonderful experience and felt so honored. And of course, the next question was that can you bring about change in 2 years' time? No. So then I said I cannot guarantee that, but the only thing that I guarantee is that I will do my best.
Yes.
Now, whether I can bring, not me alone, but the team can bring changes in 2 years' time, that I do not know. So when you recall, and then 9.5 years, I guess a lot has happened. And as you would have read in Quinsel, what I've said is that because in the Anti-Corruption Commission, the first step that you take is looking into yourself. No, unless you take this self-exploratory journey, you can't do the job there.
Yes.
So you better practice what you preach first. So, and it has been really a transformation process and particularly for me, and I guess that will also be for my two colleagues who will be also leaving. That it's been so wonderful. I've worked in 7 agencies. Including ACC. And this has been the last 29.5 years. This has been the most wonderful experience. Most wonderful. Learned a lot. Grown, I think, perhaps bigger than all our 6 agencies put together. And so it's such a wonderful experience. And then 9.5 years, after 9 years, in fact, you're happy when you leave this organization, and so much of wealth of experience and knowledge
Yes.
that you've gathered. And I like to believe that I've become maybe a slightly better citizen, a better person.
Yes. Dasho, to be very honest, probably you could be one individual who would be so happy to leave your office and end your career in bureaucracy or in service. I've seen many who have been so used to the honor, privileges, power that were bestowed upon them, and suddenly when you have to leave your office, you're on the other side of the fence, like any other ordinary citizen, you get disoriented. What gives you so much of happiness apart from the job satisfaction that you have gained?
I think as Bhutanese, as GNS citizens and as Buddhists, one should not cling, no? One should not cling on to what you have now, your power, your grand office, no, with a revolving chair and your Prado and position. If you cling to that, it can really depress you actually. No, I've seen people really being depressed, and then plus when you're out of office, and that is also Bhutanese hypocrisy. When you're in office, in the office of power, everybody will be there to lick your boots. Oh, Dasho, ama, no, scratching your head. But once you leave, nobody bothers. Because I remember when I visited an office 10 years ago, there was a retired senior officer, red cap, Buramap.
Yes.
The private secretary of the minister, she was not even extending that basic courtesy of respect to an old person, no?
Yes.
Forget about him being a senior citizen, being a senior public official. So that made me very sad actually, no? And I think that's how people are not able to adjust, because suddenly after that positions of power, you're nobody, because after you leave nobody bothers. But for that I don't care actually, whether you're bothered or not bothered. And then tomorrow if you find me sitting on the back of a tractor, don't be surprised.
Yes.
I'll be as comfortable sitting on a tractor as I'm comfortable sitting in a Prado. So for me, not really a problem.
But Dasho, while in office, you also enjoyed certain immunity. That's why people may not have attacked you. People may not have had any harsh words thrown at you. But once you leave office, you fear that?
No.
You fear all
not
this
at all, not at all. What sort of immunity? What are you talking about immunity? There's no immunity. In fact, I do not know. Maybe you would have also heard that there was a group of people who wanted to take me to the court. Recently.
Recently?
Yes, recently.
About?
I do not know. It was something, the report that we had brought out in our annual report. So I heard that there's a group of people, they were planning to take me to the court. So first of all, I was wondering, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Then I said, okay, fine, let them take me to the court. So there was no immunity at all. No, of course, I guess there is immunity from that when you do a job with good intentions, perhaps people cannot know. But otherwise, there's no immunity. Of course, the immunity, perhaps that big building where there's biometrics and nobody can come. I guess I'll be the same person without...
Perhaps with the status that you have.
For me, these are all temporariness.
Yes.
I don't.
So you don't worry at all?
No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all. Why should I worry? Is there something that I need to worry about?
Because normally what people say is, even for me, I've had people telling me that you should hang on to PBS.
Yeah.
Once you leave,
Yes,
you don't know what people will do.
Yes.
So I was just taking that same line and asking Dasho.
Yeah, of course, I am quite comfortable in saying why should I worry about. But I guess in reality, people who have families, no?
Yes.
People who have families, kids are still drawing and growing. And you have to rely on government services, whether it is getting a license or getting your kids into admission, or it's about your career progression in civil service, and understanding the Bhutanese quite well and how interconnected we are. I guess that repercussions you will face, and then especially people working in the ACC. So once they leave, because people, especially last time also we mentioned that people who are in the forefront, they will always be marked, and we have our experience. Even now, individuals are being marked. And whatever they're doing is being personalized. And when you do a job, it's not about personal vendetta. But if somebody is abusing authority, take them to the court. But when somebody is doing his or her job, don't think that it's personal vendetta. And then especially in people in influential positions and who have connections and who can influence their people in position, the people in the public service or in the government, I think it is very sad. Very sad. And of course, talking about me, it's comfortable. I guess maybe it should not be the case. But the large majority, they have to be worried. And I think institutions like the Anti-Corruption Commission has to protect their people. If you want them to do a good job, if this particular organization has to be really extraordinary No, what we say is that ACC should be the epitome, no, epitome of honor, trustworthiness, and valor. If that is it, so this is what must characterize the people working in the ACC. If you want people in the ACC to be honorable, trustworthy, and courageous, then you better look after them. So I guess for me, I think this is maybe besides the point, but people who are there, because repercussions, reprisals, it is a reality. No, it is a reality. Let's not think that it is something hypothetical. It will not never happen. It will happen. So that is why some of our colleagues, they would feel more safe. No, just as we are saying that you're more safe working, that's the comment that passed by thing. I think that is also some of how our colleagues also would feel, and then how their friends are telling them, no, that perhaps you're more safe working in the ACC than anywhere else. So I think these are serious business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dasho, let me ask this question again. Now, you also told in Zongkha session that people should not be surprised if you stand to contest for cup elections. Apart from that, what are you going to do?
I'll work with the people. I'll go home first of all and clean my mother's old building, my late mother's old building, go there and see whether I can plant chilies and grow maize. And I'll work with the citizens there. And then you would have also heard about this Samro Zongkha initiative,
yes,
Rinpoche's thing. So really looking forward to working there in the grassroots. Another exciting phase of my life. How so wonderful.
For a few years, you work as a retired
public servant,
constitutional post holder, retired public servant, going back to the farm, being an educated farmer, and then suddenly contest the elections. You'll never know what might happen.
Yeah, you never know. Even I told you that in the Zongkha section also, that a few years ago I was telling this as a joke, sharing this as a joke with my friends, that I will join politics. No, I'm not talking about 2018 now. Join politics, but with the whole intention about setting standards of ethical standards of how you perform as a political, because we heard quite a lot of stories about, I remember in 2008 also when we did our surveillance, we sent 8 teams in vulnerable positions, and then the stories that we heard, which were also true, how people conducted themselves, the candidates, and then plus their Japchor Pass, the infrastructure of supporters, and then the subsequent election, the local elections, and then the local elections also coming now around the corner, 2016. So, and then with all this sort of the intricacies. So I think it is important that we must show to the people that we can do business in a better way, setting standards, and your motive is not to win. Doesn't matter, as I said in Zongkha, that even if you don't get a single vote, it's fine, no problem. But the whole motivation is to set standards. Of course, when I say this, I don't mean to say that everybody is corrupt. But I guess certain standards have to, and then show to that there can be choices, to the electorate, that we can do business differently. So that is why I think in the next round of elections, the GUPS elections, the local elections 2016, people must be educated that they don't vote for somebody who think will help them, because if they vote for these people, then perhaps these are the last people that you should vote for. Look for people who will have this, who will be useful to the nation. And if they're useful to the nation, then I think they will be useful for the people, for that community. So I think this is something that we need to, the choices that must be presented to the electorate.
Tasha, are you not expecting too much, the utopian kind of society or the ideal world that you're looking for?
It's not about creating a utopian society. That's far from it. But at least presenting choices, and showing things that how you can do things differently, and more transparently and simply, without any complications, without any clandestine affairs. So it's about choices. It's about that things can be done differently, and it's not about creating utopian society. And once people are presented with choices, and then they think that things can be done differently, so I'm sure society will also grow along with that. I don't know. That's my thinking.
Yes. Dasho, not just your term in Anti-Corruption Commission, but throughout your career, do you have any regrets?
No regret, because no regrets at all. No regrets, because otherwise, if you have, if you say that I should have done this, I should have done that, then you have nobody but yourself to be blamed. When the opportunity was there for you, you do not perform, or you did not think of all these things. And when you leave office, say, oh, I regret not having done that. No. So that's why even in the office we are saying that we should not have any regret at all when we leave the office. Yes. That you should be happy when you look back and proud, no? Yeah.
One fear that people have, and I would like to bring this issue again, what will happen to those cases that file is still rest with your office, and now that commission is going to change?
No, I think people will come and go. So that's why we have been stressing quite a lot on in terms of institution building. No, people come and go. No, whether it is in politics, whether it is in our offices like ours, every 5 years there will be change of guards. No, but then the conviction, the ethos. I think this should not change. This should continue. Perhaps the way you do your business may change. So this should remain. Like for example, the ongoing cases, the cases which are parked, this should be continued. No, maybe you can approach things in a different way. Instead of going through east, you can go through west. So with the change of guards, perhaps the thinking might be different, but the objective should be same. No, should be same, and things should continue. So that's why, as we're saying in the Zonka section, that the ongoing cases that we have now, there should not be any hindrance. No, the momentum should be there. No, it should be continued. So the commission, before its departure, it has also made sure that the people who are working in the field are not hindered and not having the commission there. But we hope that the new commission will be appointed very soon. I think that is important, particularly in the ACC.
Leadership is key and critical for
yes,
ACC.
It is. Everywhere, in fact, not only in ACC. Governance as a whole, society as a whole. Leadership is so central, whether it is in a family. My parents, for example, my elder brother, my elder sister, what sort of examples are they setting? In an organization, the head of the agency, what sort of examples are you setting? I think leadership is key, not only in ACC, but everywhere. And yes, critical institutions like the ACC, because in the ACC, it's not about making rules and implementing rules, but it's about inner, deeper values of honesty, deeper values of justice, deeper values of, courage. Huh? So I guess, yes, but leadership as a whole, it is applicable everywhere, and especially in governance, in politics, you have to have really people whom you can look up to, whom you can trust. I think this is very important in a democracy. What is important, and in works like ours, that trust, people's trust in you. I think it's so important, and trusting yourself. I think that's very important. Talking about trust, I will also share an incident. There were a group of the EU journalists, and they were asking me that was long ago, just as I joined ACC. So they were asking me, who is the biggest enemy of ACC? Not ACC, of Bhutan. No, perhaps they expected me to say something else. No, but I told them that Bhutan is ourselves. The enemy is inside. Told them that no, and enemy is not outside. And I told them that the external enemy, that's the easy part. But the enemy inside, you're not able to see. And when you talk about corruption, the enemy is here. The people who only worry. Few days, in the last week also, there was the story which BBS carried on. There was this about Taglai Canal. No, there was no water, and then there was a lady from Sershong. The plight that she was in, like many other farmers, that no water in the canal. So her paddy field, she could not grow her paddy field. So she was really feeling sad about how will she feed her kids. And here is one section of people, and on the other side, you have people who are just filthy rich, have land everywhere, have palaces, buildings, big buildings everywhere, kids studying overseas. From where are they bringing this money? From where are they resourcing this sort of, and then driving all sorts of cars? So that immediately, after seeing the story of Sershong, I forget her name, immediately that brought me, in my vividly the comparison. So on one hand, you have I think these are bigger things that you need to worry about, and perhaps corruption could be also one of the reasons why we have this sort of disparities. And it's very sad. It's very sad. That lady really made me think very deeply about these disparities.
One thing, when you just mentioned about this income disparity, those filthy rich individuals, from where are they getting their money? That's the question you asked.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
one answer that you must have got would be by investigating the cases down there in Finchling. Did you
Possible.
get any clue from there?
Possible, because, for example, let's talk about taxes. Mm. That's why hypocrisy again. No, and then especially nowadays, no, commemorating a very important year, that is the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty King Frederick Dawa, glorifying him. How so wonderful! But I am saying that let us look at ourselves and even ask this very simple question: are we paying the right taxes? When you look at some of the business people, perhaps I am paying more taxes than them. No, public servants like us, the only income is your salary and it's deducted at source. Many of us might be paying more salaries than many business people who are doing, I don't know, millions worth business. So are we paying? No. So if you really truly want to commemorate His Majesty's birthday, I guess if you can really look into yourself and pay the correct amount of taxes.
For lapses like this, who is to be blamed?
Regulators, civil servants who are drawing their salary. So they have to be accountable.
Do you see collusion?
Yes, very much. Phuntsling is a wonderful example of governance. Wonderful example of governance. Wonderful example of how people are so deeply entrenched. And nowadays they are talking about this, the tariff increase. Doing wrong things, they don't really care. But at the end of the day, when things are being raised, a lot of noises. So, are the Bhutanese really losing it or losing on it? Or is it somebody else? I think these are questions that we need to ask ourselves. And then when you dare to ask so many questions to others, then I think you must also dare to ask those very questions to yourself. So hypocrisy comes back to asking questions to yourselves. What you pretend to be outside, are you really that from inside? And I think, yes, and then income disparities, why are people becoming richer, poor, poorer? Then I think the whole issue of governance, the whole issue of corruption, integrity, these come in. And then Phuntsling is a wonderful example that I was giving in the exam in the school, in the Dzongkha section also, that how our public service can be described. Our thing normally is from 9 to 5, and in our way of the work, we have to look for documents, and then 9 to 5 is not it's not enough for us. We need to work beyond, and you request these 3 agencies saying that can you please extend your working time till 5 o'clock. Nobody, just one person, if you keep on doing. One agency said it's risky for us, and what the risk is I do not know. So perhaps that's a bigger risk than corruption, and that risk is being discovered, your crime being discovered. And the other agency says, can you please give us in writing? And the landlord where my colleagues were staying, so much of pressure to remove them, saying that we're going to send police. So if then this describes, in such difficult circumstances, the true colors of people come out, whether it is people who are working in our own organization or whether it is the society at large. So,
any political pressure regarding Phuntsling case?
Yes, of course. Strings are there. Some people are trying to pull the strings, and it makes me sad when Bhutanese are involved. When Bhutanese are involved, and helter-skelter they go and try to really put you into pressure, but we will not buckle. And it makes me very sad that Bhutanese, for their own vested interest, they don't mind staking countries' well-being.
Dasho, you will not buckle, but you are leaving now.
No,
will
there are
the next
people. The institution
continue the momentum?
Should, and then it's not only about 3 people or 1 person, but it's also about that our people in the secretariat, our officers actually in the Dzongkha section. I was also saying that they are the ones, actually they are the foot soldiers. We are sitting in that glass up there upstairs, in that revolving chair, and giving your legs lapped on the other, and then folded hands and giving orders. But they are the ones who are actually working. And I think these people are really, committed, and they will continue the work. The commission, the present commission, has been facilitating that, and then also giving the direction and all these things. So we've also ensured that things don't derail and things don't stop, because it should not stop. It should not stop. And then whatever has to be uncovered has to be uncovered. And if it is not done now, it will never be done. So I'm very, very hopeful that the new guard who comes will be equally, equally committed and motivated, if not more. But I'm very hopeful, confident that there will be definitely a better team, better team who will come, who is wiser, and more strategic. Fearless, absolutely. And people with the highest level of integrity and people with minimum baggage. If you have people with baggage, as we're discussing in the Dzongkha section, you will not you will not survive in the ACC for long, because people will really haunt you.
Does it elaborate that baggage?
Baggage in the sense that because you have worked in many agencies, and then you have also had, I'm sure, your family members who would also have business, and then where you have abused your power, where you have embezzled, where you've done something wrong, some blind spot in your employment history, your record, and then they will go to any length to uncover that. And even me, like for example, if I have that baggage, and if you work together, about my baggage, I will not dare investigate you, because I know that you will definitely be back. So that will also be a hindrance. But I'm hopeful that the new team who comes will not have that baggage, that they will be the people absolutely pristine in every way.
Yes. Dasho, have you been able to change the system? Because Anti-Corruption Commission put in lots of efforts, had so many initiatives taken to bring changes in the system. You have introduced all sorts of frameworks, strategies. But talking to some of your people, they told me that changing system is so difficult because people are not really for it.
Mm-hmm. It's in fact, sometimes it is tougher than investigation actually. Investigation, we can throw the law at the face of the people or the institution. But in this case, we can't throw the law at them, but systems, it requires ownership. And sometimes, of course, some of the agencies are very proactive, and they already, even without AC's intervention, they are doing, And we are hopeful that with because sometimes it's like getting back at the ACC. We are not going to do this now. Let's see what they are able to do, But at the end of the day, it's not ACC which suffers. It's the nation which suffers, and the people, who suffer. So that's why I think we need to the RCC reforms, and then the government performance management system. Hopefully, this will bring about changes. So talking about systems, because at the end of the day, it's the public servants, So let's not only confine to bureaucracy, but also about the private sector, also about other institutions, whether the corporate or the projects. That we often talk about, that's in the council also I was mentioning that at the end of the day, I think public servants must see that they earn their salary. We've heard so many discussions on top tongues, The GUPS crib, the local government officials crib about not getting enough. Parliamentarians crib about not getting enough. Civil servants crib about not getting enough. We crib about not getting enough. At the end of the day, do we ever crib or reflect whether we are earning that salary? The top tongues that we have got, that are we even thinking about, are we serving them well? Corresponding service, top tongue, fine, you can shout your lungs out to get your top tongue, but are you really delivering the service that you're supposed to based on the top tongue that you have demanded? So I think these are things that we need to also really deeply think about. That service is not the salary should not be taken for granted. I think we should earn, and as Buddhists, we should be concerned about korze. So I've been, in fact, these days, last few years, I've been using about this korze. This korze is a huge burden, by the way. So as Buddhists, we should be worried about korzes. Lejumde, thadamse. I think these are the values, not to be only chirping, not only to be chirped and only from here, but from here. I think that has to be there from the heart. So hypocrisy again, back to hypocrisy, and I think let's really. I hope there are doctors to treat hypocrisy. Are there some doctors? I don't know.
Maybe lamas could treat it.
I do not know.
Yes. Dasho, if you could tell us, now that you're living, the kind of relations you enjoyed with other constitutional officers. From our observation, we came to realize that there's not so much of synergy, there's not so much of coordination between these constitutional officers for a common purpose.
Yeah, and in fact, of course, with ACC, for us, we have to always take the first step to work together, because otherwise, if you are go on this ego trips, and then that extension of or overstretching the independence part of it, you can never achieve what you want to achieve. You have to work together. So in fact, there was a command. I don't know. It was 2 or 3 years that the constitutional bodies should work together. In fact, we sat for a few sessions, but after that, it fizzled out. Why it fizzled out, I guess all of us have to reflect very deeply. But as far as ACC is concerned, ACC-RA, wonderful. We already have signed an MOU. RCC, ACC, that's why I think it's all personality driven again,
Yes.
But I think it should not be personality driven. It should be institutional based. So with RCC also, we've been having at least space for discussion. And now we have drafted an MOU to be signed with the ACC, and that MOU perhaps will be the first MOU that the new commission will sign with the ACC, with the RCC, until the independence issue is solved.
Yes.
And I think this independent issue, just this afternoon when we are having meeting with our senior colleagues, that issue of independence should not be left. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the present commission's thinking, but the larger, the organizational, the institutional performance, it is important. So the independent issue has to be pursued. So RCC with RCC also, and with ECB also, we need to really, of course, somehow in the 2008 we worked together, 2013 perhaps. But I think next time round, that we need to be working together, even for the forthcoming local government elections. I think we need to work very closely with the ECB and see how because at the end of the day, when it comes to elections, the supreme body is the ECB. So how can we support ECB?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we have to, as far as we are concerned, I think on a bilateral basis, we definitely have been working wonderfully well.
Yes. Dasho, final word, briefly. Any advice, word of wisdom
To
our public servants?
Through to the wise, no words of wisdom, but please, soul searching. I think we need to do deep soul searching, and when you look into the mirror every morning and comb your hair, please ask about what character, what is my character, and hopefully you will get the answers yourself, and try to reform ourselves. Otherwise, I will say this, I will not hesitate to say this, we are going to be in serious problems.
Yes. Dasho Neten, thank you so much for your time, and it has always been a pleasure to interview you, talk to you officially or even otherwise, because with the kind of person you are, the personality you are, with the kind of integrity that you have, I have learned a lot, and I'm sure many Bhutanese would have learned a lot from you. So thank you so much.
I must also, when you say thank you, I must also thank, by the way, through this platform, BBS platform, that I must thank our two kings, the fourth Drukgyalpo and our king, for the sort of trust that was bestowed in our commission, the two commissioners and me. Thank you very much for all the blessings. And to all the citizens who've also had high expectations from us, and hopefully that we've been able to deliver at least 10%, 20% of your expectation, particularly for the general populace. And I would also like to take this occasion to opportunity to thank my colleagues in the Secretariat. Yes. I think they've been a wonderful team, and I hope they will continue to receive the sort of support from the general mass, and in particular people in positions of power. And instead of networking with their supporters, I think it will be important that they extend support to the people in the ACC. So thank you very much to my colleagues. You've been a wonderful team, and please continue doing the good work that without much worry, hopefully the institution will take care of your security.
Without Dasho Neten.
So. And I will try to be a good citizen.
Dasho, thank you so much. And in fact, this is one interview that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. I've always enjoyed talking to you, Dasho. Sincerely, thank you so much for your time. With this, we come to the end of our conversation. Thank you so much for watching. And I've also enjoyed all the support and comments from all the viewers of BBS television. Thank you.